reached the fourth session of the day today. So I saw in the chat platform there was a question around the economics of setting up a charging station. How much does it cost? So that is exactly what we are going to be covering in this session. So our fourth session is around economics of setting up a charging station. And we have Mr. Bapu Sangle from Voltic, which is India's leading provider of EV charging solutions today. So Mr. Sangle is responsible for handling end-to-end charging solution, including design, development, installation, and operation of EV chargers over Voltic's proprietary platform made for India and made in India. So he has a varied experience across EV charging solutions and electric mobility products with over 5 years of experience in the sales and service with different clients. He was earlier working as an O&M engineer for EV charging solutions, handling the business development for EV charging and services, handling the field work, conducting site surveys, designing and preparing project reports, estimating, supply chain management, building customer relationships, and so on. So he is an expert in the charging station setups, and we would like to hear from him about what he has to share on the economics of setting up an EV charging station. So Mr. Sangle, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Du, for the nice introduction. So, hello everyone. Very good afternoon. So, my name is Bapu Sangle. Today we are basically going to see the EV charging solutions. You know, what are the different types of the electric vehicle chargers, and when it comes to the practical implementations, what are the basic key points need to be considered, along with the the various economics in terms of setting up the electric vehicle chargers and the public domain licensing with the discoms. So that points we are going to cover in this session. So first of all, let me tell you what are mean by the EV charger. So most of the introduction part about these EV chargers are well known to all of us, like the equipment or the dispenser, normally the hardware which dispense the electricity for charging of the batteries inside the vehicle. So these are the EV chargers. Those are developed, designed as per the various standards. Those are designed by the BIS and even tested by the ARI, which are the Indian laboratory set up in the Pune, Maharashtra. So basically, when it comes to the hardware, so hardwares, there are the two basic categories that right now available in the market. That one can be the AC charger, which can be also considered as in the slow charging segment. Another can be the DC fast charger. So DC fast chargers mostly utilized in the commercial segment, where the user actually want to just to get a top up charge within the less time, or the fast charging segment. So mostly DC fast chargers are considered. Now coming to the applications wise, EV charger can be installed at the different location. The location can be either it can be our home charging segment, like residential charging solution, where it can be installed at some parking premises, in the tenant location or the society location, or in the common area premises. Apart from it, the EV charger can also be installed at the workplace locations, like some IT and corporate locations, uh, public parking premises, petrol pumps, highways, hotels, malls, etc., etc. So coming to the solution wise, when it talks about the some business offering. So right now, the segment wise, we can see the most of the EV chargers, as when it comes to the charging concept, the users or the EV drivers, the having practical on the challenges on the segment, that they cannot find the public chargers mostly at the different location within the their city wise areas. So they prefer for their home charging segment as well, where the charger can be installed at their own parking premises, and during the night hours the charging can be possible. So that we call as a residential charging. So mostly in the residential charging, AC chargers are installed, because these are come with the low cost. When it comes to the the charging time is quietly high, takes around 6 to 7 hours. It also depend on the different types of EVs in terms of size to size of the batteries. So mostly like the AC chargers come with the two standards right now. One can be the Bharat AC charger, which is designed by the Department of Heavy Industries. So that Bharat AC charger, that can be one of the charger where it can be charged two-wheeler and three-wheeler. Also, there is another charging standard, that is the European charging standard that we have adopted in India as well, that we also call as a type 2 charger. So that type 2 charger able to cater all electric SUV segment, that is a special purpose vehicle. So mostly like an Nexon, MG, Hyundai, those are recently available in India. So they can actually utilize these type 2 chargers mostly in the residential premises. So these chargers are installed at the particular owners or the EV users premises in their home parking, and where you can use the charging solution for charging of the vehicle. And once the charging get finished in the daytime, they can utilize for their daily travels. Now coming to the second operations, where mostly for the DC fast charger, so we are considering that there can be two segment. One can be, as I mentioned, that can be for the dedicated for the employees, like a workplace charging solution. Like there are multiple corporate premises right now adopting electric vehicles in order to reduce the carbon initiative and carbon emission and some green initiative programs. So they are introducing electric vehicle for their employee transportations in terms of either in B2B or B2C likewise. So these are the fleet segment where the multiple companies are providing electric vehicles to particular corporates, and they require a dedicated charging solution within that premises where you can actually utilize the charging stations. So these are the DC fast chargers. So the chargers also come with the different connectors configuration. There can be either Indian standard, that is also known as the GBT, that we also call as the Bharat DC charger. So that DC charger also come with the multiple connector. As I mentioned, it can be either a single gun or the dual gun version. Single gun, it means that at a time only one vehicle can be charged. And when it comes to the double gun version, so two vehicle can be charged simultaneously by balancing the current or the voltage for the particular batteries. So that is one of the concept which is utilized in the fleet and corporate segment. Another way it comes to the on-site, or when you can say the public charging segment, where the charger can be installed on the roadside premises. Either it can be common parking area, like public parking premises, petrol pumps, hotels, malls, likewise location. Sorry. So that we call as the public charging. Now with public charging, there is a Ministry of Power has already released some guidelines that public charging stations should have mix of the chargers, because when it comes to the vehicle right now, when it the EV charging segment, there are the multiple charging protocols. It can be either a CCS, CHAdeMO, or the GBT, or some AC chargers for the slow charging concept in terms of two-wheeler and three-wheeler applications. So infrastructure need to be developed in the mix adoption wise to provide the facility to all kind of EV users. And apart from it, the hardware will be integrated with the cloud-based platform that we also known as the mobile-based applications, and some central management systems, cloud-based server, where user can actually see this charging station located over the Google map. He can drive up to that locations. So that is the public charging concept. Now moving to the when it comes to the infrastructure, when you call as the complete build-up of the particular charging station. So there are the certain components which are we are considering while developing a particular charging station. Either it can be a dedicated or the public charging station, like private or public likewise. So first of all, the first one that is very much important part, that is land and location. That whenever somebody wants to put up the charger, so definitely there is a premises, a certain area of that particular size and width are required to mount that particular charger within that premises. And also it should be easily accessible to particular drivers or the EV user, so he can physically come up to that location within the easy reach, easy to access and easy to find. So that is why we are considering that identifying the location should be very strategic. It should be like mostly the roadside connectivity, so the users can easily come down to that particular premises. Chargers should be easy to identify, so we are putting some some branding and stickers, so it can be easily accessible to the different users. So that is the first part in terms of a land and location. Second one will be, yes, definitely when it comes to the it's a electrical equipment, so it definitely requires some kind of basic arrangement to mount that particular stations or the equipments or the charger or the wall or standee. So that will provide some electrical connection also in terms of power supplies. So mostly right now in the AC chargers are mostly available in the single phase and three phase version also, but mostly all the DC chargers are required a three phase power supplies. So location should be need to be considered that there should be a sufficient load of electrical from that particular discoms or the power utility companies should be available to power up the charging station. So that also need to be considered. Third point is the definitely that is the cloud-based application. As I mentioned, the EV chargers are the dispensers. So dispenser just dispense the energy as per the load requirement or the the demand generated by that particular vehicle for the charging. So this actually works in that similar concept. Like normally in nowadays, most of the in the petrol stations, the users are available. The manpowers are available. But when it comes to the EV charging, so it completely unmanned station. So everything going to operate over that particular application that we call as the central management system, or we can also call as the charging management system. So the charging management system come with the mobile based applications, that is the end user application. So user can actually download that particular applications, and by using that application he can look at the charger and utilize the charging station for that particular vehicle, whatever as per his demand. So that is one of the important part while developing a public chargers or a private charger in terms of doing the monitoring and generating the reports, even also for a revenue purpose also. The fourth point, that is definitely when it comes to the operational, once the charging station goes power up, so it definitely requires some kind of services and maintenance to keep a maximum uptime. So maximum uptime in terms of that higher is the utilization, definitely there is a more in terms of the revenue arrangement. So that is the one of the important part where the charging point operators or the users actually need to be maintain the station, doing the regular cleanup and etc. Likewise. So as I mentioned, the CMS that we call as the charge point operator platform, that is the like we are the one of the charge point operators. So we are developing this infrastructure over the internet facilities, so user can actually access the charging station without actually deploying the manpowers. So that everything works over the internet. So there is a cloud-based application, data comes to the cloud server. So from that server, you can actually visible the live charging session on the PC-based versions or the laptops. So these are the facilities where user can actually see the live monitoring. So in terms of the live monitoring, there is actually how much that energy is going to dispense for particular charger, what is the voltage, current, and the battery SOC in terms of the percentage level that displayed over the CMS. Apart from this, there are the certain tools are available, like in terms of the generating the reports, analytics to see the what are the faults are coming, what are the in terms of the setting of the tariffs. So that is one of the important part, that suppose for there is example, there are the hundreds of charging stations. So by using the CMS, by just setting the tariff over the internet, you can actually update the tariff for all the stations remotely. So CMS also utilized for the monitoring purpose in terms of the fault management also, and also in terms of the charging management, where the charging station can also be added, deleted, managed. Even the users can also be identified, that how much transaction has been coming from that particular users, how much will be the amount, and how much energy was dispensed for the particular charging station, either day wise, week wise, or month wise. So that reporting platform can be available from that particular dashboard. Apart from it, there are the certain services, like there are the APIs also we are providing to the users, so based on their needs. So like either that can be develop their own mobile application, so that through the APIs that can be also possible. So that is the CMS part. And when it comes to the user application, as I mentioned, so there is a mobile based application that is available for the end user. So these are mostly listed over the Play Store, either it can be on the Android and iOS, both the platform. So that is a mobile based application where user can download the application at free of cost, and he can actually need to be registered themselves within the application by adding their details. So detail can be a personal detail, like its basic KYC, name, number, email ID, what type of vehicle they are having, what are the capacity of that vehicle. So automatically, once you go for the charging, so that reports get generated that particular user having this kind of vehicle in the backend. So the charging owner also knows that this user having this kind of vehicle, and he has utilizing this particular chargers. So mobile application also having several features where like they can also see the booking the slot as per his requirement in advance also, or in the later time also, like in the next day booking can also be possible if the user demands. So that is also the one of the important features. Apart from it, as I mentioned, there is a auto-generated invoice. The payment facilities are integrated with the application itself. So the payment can be either provided from the wallet-based system is also available. Apart from it, there is a debit card, credit card, or the internet banking facility, or some UPI-based payment is also available, where user can pay the payment for the particular charging sessions as per the requested kilowatt. So that is the one of the important point or the features for that particular application. Nowadays it is very general in comes when it comes to the electric vehicle chargings. So these are the application where the charging can be initiated by scanning the QR code, or the user also having their own RFID card, so he can also actually buy the RFIDs if they required for that their own uh, nearest charging station for that, or the public charging station as well. So that is the mobile based applications. Now when it comes to the physical deployment of the electric vehicle chargers, yes, definitely there are certain points those are need to be considered. As I initially mentioned, land, of course, that is the one of the important part. But before to going to the land, you actually need to see what type of electric vehicle chargers, or the either it can be AC charger or DC charger, you actually need to be select or developing, or putting the chargers on the roadside. Either it can be at the mall premises, hotel, or petrol pumps. So it can be selected based on the what are the vehicles available in that particular location. Like when you talks about city like Mumbai and Pune, Hyderabad, Delhi, NCR, likewise, nowadays a lot of vehicles are available in the market. So it can be either a passenger vehicle or the personal segment vehicle. But within the rural areas right now, there are only two-wheelers and three-wheelers are highly utilized. So in that way, there is a no need to develop for the DC fast charging station in terms of that. Either it can four-wheeler or bus segment likewise. So you actually first need to be select right hardware which actually fulfill the requirement for the particular market within that area. Now the second, once the charger has been selected, the next point is you will actually need to select a location where this EV charger need to be installed. So based on the location feasibility, we actually monitors the location in terms of the as I mentioned, that is a route planning, that it should be a city center location where peoples or the user from the different areas can access that particular location in terms of easy reach. So that location also one of the important point. Now also on the location wise, there are the certain parameter. As I mentioned, the mostly some equipments are come with the pedestable mounting, like they actually required to develop some civil foundations, because it can be mounted over the foundation itself. So location should be in the such manner that at least minimum 2-3 vehicles can be parked. Also, as I mentioned, it depends on the hardware. Either it can be a double gun or the single gun charger. So it can be selected in based on the vehicle parking capacity as well. So that is the location point. Now, after the location, there's definitely that particular charger required a dedicated power supplies. Now most of the state come with the different policies as well. Also there are the certain special tariff has been declared for the electric vehicle chargers. So these are come with the subsidized rate for that particular application. So there is a required to have a coordination with the discoms. So discoms are basically the power utility companies, those having a role to provide the power supplies to the particular hardwares or the EV chargers. So you also need to be think on the feasibility side, that whatever the location where you are planning to develop particular charging station, it must be connected to some feeder location or the nearest transformer. So that is that particular transformer is able to carry that additional load, or there is a required additional setup. So that can be a only solution can be provided from the DISCOM side. So you actually need to be do the feasibility survey with the coordination with the DISCOM, and once there is a readiness of the power supply, then you can actually plan for the physical site installations. So then it comes to the particular engineering or the layout, or in terms of dimension wise, from where cable was coming, then either it can be open cable, underground cable, either there is a charger need to be deployed over the wall or some civil foundation. Also in terms of to make it trendy, there might be some canopy or the structure need to be developed, so where some branding or flex can be installed for the easy user identification. There can be some boards where some instruction point also be provided, that these are the 7 to 8 steps you need to be follow for starting the charging station and doing the charging. What are the safety precautions need to be considered? There should be some fire safety equipment also need to be installed as per the location demand. So that is come with the site layout and execution. And once there is a power supply readiness from the DISCOM, once the energy meter has been installed, there is a separate meter requirement, then we can actually go for the live charging sessions. So that is the major step we are doing or normally required in order to develop a particular charging station at respective locations. So that is the now moving to the next, yes, definitely there are certain procedure also need to follow when it requires to bring the product from the suppliers. Now there are the certain OEMs, those are developing electric vehicle chargers. So we also has tie up with the several OEMs, those are actually developing the hardwares within the India, making India products. So these are the companies, those are well qualified, having the products are well tested as per the various testing laboratories or the norms and standard developed by the industries. So as I initially mentioned, there are IS standards, there is some BWE also there, and ARI also there, CE approval also there, IC approval also there. So these are the companies, those are developing the hardware. So you need to bring the hardware from that by putting your inquiries and selecting the chargers. And by doing the particular contract, you can bring the hardware up to the site. And by doing the installation, you can go for the live charging. So that is the procedures that need to be coordinated. Now, definitely, as I mentioned, there might be some challenges on the location to location, because there might be some locations where actually single phase power is mostly available in some most of the locations in small areas where the 3-phase power connection need to be bring, because the EV chargers mostly when it comes to DC fast charger, they require a 3-phase power. So this definitely requires a certain arrangement or the additional burden on the DISCOM. Also, this also delayed some application procedures. So we also face some challenge by developing the infrastructure. It is not the case. It is very easily for us. It also for the common people as well. As I initially mentioned, most of the site we also found that the transformers are already overloaded and they're actually required to put a new transformer. So DISCOM put additional transformer, and that cost also that need to be paid by the owner itself for that dedicated transformer. Even coming to the the healthiness of the existing cables, that also need to be checked while developing the infrastructure. Suppose let's example, if the charger is going to install at particular hotel locations and that hotel is almost 10-50 years old property, right? So might be there is a certain connection already available at particular hotels or that resort. So actually you require to check the healthiness at particular cable. Does this particular cable as feasible or sustainable to add additional load? What are the current rating that he can carry, or additional burden he can take? If there is a not means provision that cable cannot handle that sustained load, then you actually need to put additional cables apart from your basic requirement. So these are the one of the challenges. Apart from it, right now when it comes to the hardware implementation, so most of the peoples, as you know, there are the putting on the investment, that is very easy, but to bring the locations, that is a very challenging in the mostly in the city like Mumbai, Pune, and NCR and Bangalore locations. So locations come with some cost. So there can be the high rental, there can be either 10,000 rupees or 12,000 rupees. Some cities there are 50,000 rupees for the 24/7 if you go for the mall parking. So there are the hour wise parking rates are also available. So getting the land at the economical price, because that also affect on the generating the ROIs. So if there is a high rental of their particular land, then also it not economical or viable for the end user also to put the charger and operate the charger and generating the revenue. So that is the some of the points you need also need to be considered by developing the charging solutions or identify the locations. Now these are the pictorial where you can see how the layout or the site execution need to be planned in terms of the planning. So these are the one of the stations where we are considering two DC fast chargers. So that is mostly for the four-wheeler applications, and some are the slow chargers. Those are considered for the two-wheeler, three-wheeler, and four-wheeler as well for the slow charging concept. So that are total four chargers has been considered, and you can see how much area will be required in terms of the parking wise, in terms of the what are the mm, dimensions for the developing a particular civil foundation, what is the minimum and maximum areas for the four charging stations, and those are considered. So the total capacity for developing this infrastructure, that is 82 kilowatt closely. And to develop 82 kilowatt, there are definitely some cost arrangement also there. So in terms of hardware cost, infrastructure cost, and basic accessories and tool cost, so that we have made some arrangement also on that particular part, what will be the costing and how much ROI can be taken all for the doing the charging. So that is on next slide. So these are the economics, or we can say the cost valuations. So as I mentioned, we have considered four numbers of chargers. So right now, most of the hardwares are come with the 1 year default warranty, and the project has been designed or developed for the 5 years period. So there are additional 4-year AMC. So we are considering there is a one-time investment, and there are certain running costs on the year-by-year basis that we also call as the uh, OPEX investment or the operating expenditures. So in terms of the capital investment, the initially there are the four chargers. So there are the cost of the four hardwares, that is we have calculated, that is almost 12.2 lakhs rupees, 23 lakhs rupees, sorry. Then when it comes to the electrical infrastructure development, so as I mentioned, that particular charger required a dedicated size of the power cable, a special or the separate MCBs are required for that particular hardwares. So there is some meter arrangement from the discom, so that also having some cost. So we have considered 50 meters of cable, so that comes with the 3.6 lakh 16 lakh rupees cost. And next one is the putting the civil foundation, doing the branding on the either on the floor or the some canopy arrangement for to protect from the environmental aspect. So that also we have calculated, so it come along 65,000 rupees. Now coming to the list for the four chargers, two DC chargers and two AC chargers, there is a capital investment that is almost 16.48 lakhs rupees, 16.48 thousand rupees. Sorry. Now next on the 4-year period, yes, definitely there are the certain running costs that we are considering. The first one, that is the AMC. So AMC, that is the coming to the maintenance part, that the particular charger required to be maintained, and in order to maximum the uptimes, either there is a cleaning or replacing the hardware's faulty material, putting the engineer likewise. So that is the AMC cost for the additional 4 year. Now as I mentioned, that hardware needs to be connected with some internet, because it's everything going to be operate over the online platform like a mobile based application, so it required internet services. So that internet cost also considered. And the third one, that is the most important part, that is the land rate at which you are putting the EV chargers in that particular premises. So these are the cost, basic costs are considered as per the market standard right now. So that for the 5 years period, for that 4-car parking has been considered. And that is the total running investment for the next total 5 years period, that is around 31 lakhs rupees. So mostly in this particular cost, while developing these calculations, transformer has not considered in this particular case, because it also depend on the location to location, and particularly when it comes to the chargers. So the chargers come with some standard rating, so that does not require any separate or dedicated transformer. So transformer mostly almost in the scope of the discom, either need to be provided or not to be provided. So the transformer has not been considered. Also, the mobile-based application. So mostly the companies like us, we are having their own mobile application. So they are providing applications to the user. So there are only the running cost in terms of the recurring cost are considered. That is almost on the rupees per unit basis. That is from 1 rupees to 1.5 rupees. So mostly in that particular cost, you are getting the application, all the services to getting the payment facility, live charging, reporting likewise. So these are the economics. Now coming to the ROI in terms of breakup period, that how much charging need to be done in that particular hours to get a particular investment to be returned in certain period of time. So here are the table where you can see there are the certain parameters has been considered. The first one is the total installed capacity. So we have considered that maximum load is 80 kilowatt. It means that hourly, if the all the 4 chargers are going to operate and the full rating, then you can dispense the 80 kilowatt of energy for the charging of the battery. That is a simple concept. Then multiply with the hours in terms of the use case basis, because EVs can take some EVs depends on the battery size to size. When it comes to DC fast charger, they are usually on average take 1.5 hours, or some vehicle can from 0 to 80% in the 1 hour the charging can be possible. So based on the hour calculations, so there are the how much kilowatt can be dispensed in the daytime, in the month time, or in the year wise. So we have calculated those on the year wise basis. So on that basic calculation or assumptions, you can find that higher is the utilization. It means that more is the use for that particular charger by that particular vehicles, higher is the revenue. So revenue will be in the similar manner, that in particular how much kilowatt will be dispensed in that month cycle or year cycle, you have to multiply with the net profit. So net profit means the margin that you are adding on that providing the charging as a service. So we have considered a 3.5 rupees in that particular calculation. So you can find that higher is the utilization, lower can be the ROI period. So if right now EVs account very less in the market, but in the next 2-3 years there is a a huge possibility to there is a higher vehicle utilization or the adoption by the users. So higher is the consumption, definitely lower will be the ROI. And the we also it as I mentioned, the charger also having some operating times, so they also having their own limitation in terms of operation. So we are considering that uh, in the current scenario, right now there is no possibility to consumption, like there can be a 24 hours consumption can be possible, or the 60 hours. So that we are considering on an average right now, most of the our public charging station also, those are we have developed at the sub location. So we are also getting some practical results. So based on that, we can say that almost 8 to 12 hours we are getting a charging in the daytime, in the 24 by session. So by using this, we can also having that ability that you can say that higher is the utilization, lower can be the ROI period. So that is about the coming to the ROI on the public charging stations. Now, as I mentioned, there are the certain tariffs under which the power supply is available, that we also call as the EV tariff for the, or the special meter that DISCOMs are providing those for the particular for the EV charges. Right now, these are the tariffs available for the different state. All the DISCOMs has been already declared their tariff rates on their tariff segment. Those are available on the DISCOM portal itself. Now, in this particular cost arrangement or the calculation, I have considered the tariff which are provided by the Maharashtra government. So there are the certain parameters. Those are part of the tariff. The first one, that is the fixed cost. That fixed cost means suppose you are going to sanction 80 kilowatt of load, and on the month wise, how much will the maximum demand or the maximum energy utilized. So based on that, there is a fixed KVA basis or per kilowatt basis, per monthly basis. There is a 70 rupees. That is a one of the fixed cost. Apart from it, there are the basic energy charges on the rupees per kilowatt basis, that is a 3.93, and there are wheeling charges are added by the DISCOM, that is a 1.57 rupees. Now, EV chargers are considered as the commercial activities, because the charging is either it can be own charger or the public charger. So these are added there on the commercial segment. So these are 21% is the commercial duty. Those are applicable. Apart from it, there Maharashtra government sales tax, that is a 34 paisa. So calculating those, you can end user can get a tariff that is almost near to the 7 rupees per unit. Now, as I mentioned, there are certain TOD tariff as well based on the time hour basis, because mostly there are some peak hours are there, non-peak hours are there. So based on that, Discom also providing some incentive arrangement as well, or also there is some plus tariff also there, like in the daytime there can be charging between 18 to 20 hours, so there is a 1 rupees will be the additional will be taken apart from the basic tariff. So these are the TOD tariffs, those are applicable to EV chargers as well. Now coming to designing of the tariff structure. So yes, there are the certain investment has been done in terms of hardware arrangement, land arrangement, and there are some operating costs also in order to maintain the charger in terms of either AMC or internet cost. So in the 7 rupees, we are getting the price from tariff or the power from the discount. So on that 7 rupees, we are adding that operating cost. So operating cost calculated on that particular parameter, that how much investment going to be done in the next 4-year period, 10 years period, likewise. So how much will be the operating cost coming on the unit wise basis? So that we are considering. Apart from it, there is definitely a net profit margin, because EV chargers are considered as the services. So that is a charging as a service to the batteries, and that is available. Already ministry has declared that is there is a completely license free activity, that nobody required a dedicated license to develop their own charging station or operate on the commercial model or public model. So definitely there is some profit margins can be added, that is almost 3.5 rupees. And next one is the application cost. That application cost is basically the mobile based application or the cloud based server. Those are available on the recurring cost, or also available on yearly subscription basis. So that cost I will consider. The total cost coming to the end user for charging as a service, that is a 17.5 rupees. In that 17.5 rupees per unit plus GST will be there. So these are about the development of the tariff for the end users. So we seen that these on terms of the economics of the EV charging station, in terms of the deployment, either in the commercial charging segment like a public charging segment, or dedicated segment. So the model or the infrastructure or the all the cost economic need to be developed in the way that it should be robust, economical, and sustainable to end user as well as the charge point operator. So higher is the utilization, lower can be the ROI period. So that is the simple math behind this. So that is about this. If somebody has a question, then we can take that.
Thank you, Mr. Sangle. I think that was a wonderful presentation and a lot of information regarding setting up charging stations. So a request to everyone, if there are certain questions around economics of setting up charging stations or anything related to charging solutions, please feel free to post your questions on the chat platform. So there was one question that was posted earlier in the previous session that I had skipped. This was regarding, let me just see. What is the cost of a charging station? So that was the question that had come up. So would you like to take that up? I'm sure that has already been addressed. Maybe you would like to re-summarize what has been discussed.
Yeah, I will like to re-summarize. As I initially mentioned, the cost of the chargers depends on the hardware to hardware, because right now there are two main category. One can be the AC charger, another will be the DC charger. Now AC charger, there are the two products right now approved by the government. In terms of public charging, there are Minister of Power already declared certain charging standards. So the one can be the Bharat AC charger, that is a basic normal charger that is available for 2-wheeler and 3-wheeler. So that can cost with 50 to 55,000 rupees. Now there can be additional global charging product also, that is for the four-wheeler segment. Ultimately, it's a slow charger. So that is a type 2 charger available in 7.4 kilowatt rating that can cost up to 65,000 rupees. Now, coming to the DC charger. Now, DC chargers, as I mentioned, there are the certain standard. It can be either a GBT charging standard, or it can be a global charging like a CCS or CHAdeMO. So based on the connector wise configuration, either it can be 1 gun or 2 gun. So right now, the cost of the DC fast charger is on the higher side. Mostly a GBT charger or the Bharat DC charger coming with the single gun facility. So that can cost up to nearest 2.5 lakhs rupees. And the on the higher side, like a chargers of 100 kilowatt ratings, those are come with the global charging standard, that is a CCS. So that can cost up to almost 12 lakh rupees. That is it.
Great. So we have a couple of follow-up questions as well now. So the first question is, what is the minimum land requirement for setting up a charging station? Is there any kind of minimum stipulated requirement? And are there any bank loans available for setting up these charging stations?
Okay. Yes. The first point, coming to the land area requirement. So as I mentioned, right now the EV chargers come with the multiple connector wise. Either it can be a single connector, or double connector, or 3 connector. Mostly 3 connectors are higher size on available in the market right now. So it means that the particular charger able to carry or able to charge 2 vehicle or 3 vehicles simultaneously. So based on the hardware arrangement, like if you are going to select a 2 gun charging station in terms of DC charger, so definitely a 2 car parking space are required. Now, on seeing on the area wise, the area of almost 300 to 400 square feet is self-sufficient to develop a 2 vehicle parking premises with the 1 charging station. That is the first point. And second point, when it comes to the any bank loans or the investment. So right now, most of the governments come with the subsidies. They already declare, but this subsidy can be available after there are the certain procedure. You need to bring the equipment, install the equipment, and after the equipment, that you need to apply for that particular subsidy at particular nodal agencies. And once nodal agencies get file your application, that team will come to the site. They will do the physical site survey, approving the particular charger, see that either the charger is government standard or certain other. Then based on that, they are making the approvals. So subsidy mostly like city like in Bangalore. So Bangalore almost provided 40% of subsidy. So everything is from the subsidies point. Now coming to loan arrangement, right now there are certain companies, those are also providing the hardwares on the EMI basis as well. So that you also need to be tied up with that particular companies directly, like that is arrangement. But when it comes to the bank loan, it depends on the like most of the companies are getting bank guarantees and other things. So from that way it can be possible. But when it comes to the loan arrangement, I don't think there is a certain arrangement has been done. It can be taken from the personal loan itself. That is it.
Okay, great. So there is one more question. The cost of charging station in all the stations, would that be the same? Standby supply has not been considered in the costing here that we've seen in the presentation. Now the question comes here because most of the states are not providing power 24 hours, and there would be additional cost for setting up standby generation systems.
Yes. Okay. So basically, as I already mentioned, it also depend on land to land, location to location basis, area to area basis, because there are certain areas like in Mumbai also, because I am from the Mumbai. So in Mumbai also there are the certain discom which are having very robust and good kind of infrastructure they are developed in certain areas. But in there are certain areas, those are from outside of the city. So there are certain limitations when it comes to the power supply arrangement. So as I mentioned, based on location to location, there are the temporary power supplies, or we can also call it as a standby power supply. So that also additional cost, like mostly discoms are providing that power supply arrangement also, but they come with the very high cost. High cost in mean that normally like mostly in the festival, like either it can be Ganpati festival or some other festival, some people are taking a temporary power. So discom having that arrangement to provide a temporary power supply as well. But when it comes to EV chargers, so EV chargers are going to install for the next 4 years, 5 year, or lifetime basis. So there is a permanent connection we are all considering in that location. Suppose normally we are also doing, like either I have to deploy the charger at certain hotel premises. Now definitely hotel having a 3-phase power connection. So I will take the power, temporary power from there till that my new separate meter is coming. And likewise, now the hotel having a power which are providing by the discom, that is come with either 10 rupees or 12 rupees. So there is a sub meter we are installing. So based on the consumption, we are paying to that particular owner for that particular consumption till the power connection is going to be released. That is it. And the coming to the cost wise, as I mentioned, uh, the chargers come with the different ratings. So it's not way that the cost are the same. It cost are different for the different kilowatt size of the machines, connector wise. Either it can be 1 gun, 2 gun. Based on that, there is a different cost for the different hardwares. Right.
Right. So that's I think pretty much about a question. Just one last question that I see on my screen. Is there some kind of number available around, a cost of charging, a cost of a single charge for an average car? And what is the amount of margin that a charging station can generate in percentage terms?
Right. So these are these are the costs not mostly available. You cannot see anything over the internet, but like normally, as I mentioned, the vehicle come with the default battery capacities, the installed capacity of the battery in terms of the kilowatt basis. Like either it can be mostly in the four-wheeler segment. Let's take example of the Tata Nexon, so which is the one of the India's most popular vehicle right now in the SUV segment. So Tata Nexon, they are having a battery pack that is a 13.2, 30.2 kilowatt. It means that for 0 to 100% of the charging, Tata Nexon will consume 30 units of electricity. Now coming to the user wise also, now if somebody want to charge the vehicle 100%, then and then there is a 30 unit will be dispensed, because charger dispense only that amount of electricity that battery requires, and ultimately the battery capacity, full capacity, that is a 13.2. So there is a 13.2 consumption on the 100% charging wise. So there, yes, definitely there are certain margins. So let's consider right now in the calculation itself we have mentioned, there is a basic electricity cost. The basic electricity cost, there are operating cost and profit margin are added. And let's take an example of the by paying all the cost, the net profit, that is a 3.5 rupees. So the particular charging station, like 30 units of the, like Tata Nexon. So you can see on the website also, on the Tata Motor itself, they have clearly mentioned for 0 to 80% of the charging, the vehicle can take up to 50 to 55 minutes for 0 to 80% charging. But when it comes to the 100% charging, it will require almost 1.5 hours for full charge. So in the 1.5 hours, 30 units of electricity can be dispensed. So you can directly multiply 30 units by 3.5. So that is a 105 rupees. That is a net profit for that particular charging station for that one vehicle. So in the daytime, if you get at least minimum 5 vehicle for the charging, for the full charging, then you can say almost 500 rupees will be the net income on the day-wise basis. And similarly, you can calculate on the month-wise, year-wise, likewise.
Perfect. I think that answers that question. Do you also have some economics around integration of solar PV systems into a charging station? How that affects the overall cost viability?
Yes, we have designed that part as well. Basically, as I mentioned, EV charger can be power up from the power fed from the, like normal grid power, or it can be solar or through the wind generation. So as I mentioned, mostly in the other application, like there are the like developing a solar at particular society, the society also having some lighting load, like a fixed loads are available. But in EV charging, the machine having a capacity, and let's take an example, if there is a charger of 20 kilowatt, 20 kilowatt, now it means that in hourly wise the charger can dispense 20 units of electricity. But it also required that vehicle should accept that amount of energy. Like for example, mostly there is a hour wise utilization, so we are considering in the daytime or in the month time how much unit we required for the charging. So based on that, we are considering the capacity of solar need to be installed. And definitely there is not only solar, because all the charger, either it can be AC charger or DC charger, they required a grid type inverter. So the power can be connects with the grid also in the night hours, because solar can be generated the power in the daytime, so night time we also require the power, so that is a grid inverter that also need to be considered, that also increase some cost. Now also that is another point, area feasibility, that sufficient space should be available to develop and mount solar panel. That is the part. And coming to the cost economics, yes, definitely the weather normally also like power generator from the solar, that come to the cost like 2 rupees, 3 rupees, or max to max 3.5 rupees. But here is the normal grid power, that is almost 6 rupees, right? So that is more economical if we consider for the solar based integration. Yes.
So thank you for the responses. I think that was a great session, and we have a lot of questions. Questions are still trickling in, but I would suggest for all participants, if there are further questions, you can keep on writing on the chat platform, and Mr. Sangle can address those directly in the chat for all the users. So with that, we have come to the end of this session. So thank you so much, Mr. Sangle, for sparing your time today and sharing the insights about EV charging stations and their economics with us. I believe it was a wonderful session, and all of us have learned a lot about the facts and figures for the charging stations today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So moving on, we are now proceeding towards the last technical session of the day, and it is an interesting session. So now we are going to be talking about